Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. Today is Thursday. It is a good thing that it's Thursday because we have a big holiday weekend in front of us, and tomorrow is Friday. Typically Fridays, have been tricky and not the best to trade, so hopefully you made some money this week so far and you're going into Friday a little bit light on your feet. We do have Putin coming in on CNBC tomorrow morning, so we'll see what kind of wild card he throws into the market. But anyway, here we are in the market. The S&P is now 3-4 handles away from all-time highs. We had a really nice bounce back in technology in the past 2 weeks. You had the Russell hold important lows and also, lift, which has been also helpful, and a lot of the names within there that have had some sideways patterns which were different, giving you an extra move. And in high beta land, you had some not only moves off the lows, you had intermediate moves that gave you some follow through, some even more than people thought, and created the pain trade on the other side. So I'm just going to go through a lot of the charts and just burn through it because I know a lot of people want to go. Some people are starting the vacation early. I hope you had a good week so far. We've tried to outline a lot of what's been in play in the morning note. I'm telling you, 20, 25 stocks in there talking about levels and what could happen. And, and then if you're on the VTF, you get to watch me put them on or not put them on, or everyone in the whole entire community talk about them. So, all in all, I think people are very happy coming into today's close. With that said, you look at the chart of the S&P. Here you go. This market has definitely been one fake out after another. This was the move going into, what was that? That was the end of March, and it felt like we were going to break out, and then you had the breakout failure. Then it looked like we were going to break down, and then you had the breakdown failure, and now here we are right back at the highs. This time, back at the highs, things have been feeling a little bit different. Okay, first of all, just here is the trend that held, and it definitely looked a little wishy-washy at times. I know on Monday I was really bullish. I came in, Tuesday probably with more longs than I've had in a while, and then this day happened right there, so that wasn't good. And then I had to rework myself back into some positions for these 2 days, and it's been pretty good. And now the question is, do we hold above this area here? I think the longer we hold above this 1888 now, and go a little sideways, the higher the probability we do get another move higher. Because it's not like the S&P is not the only thing standing. You actually have some other things that are helping. Qs have been more of a buy than a sell since mid-April. I know we talked about the potential of this head and shoulders pattern, but taking it day by day, you had your reversal, so this neckline held here. Then you came up to resistance, higher low, resistance, higher low. Then you broke this descending channel here. Retest, didn't fall apart, held, and now you've had a nice little move. And the technology, right now we're a little extended from the 8 and the 21, so that makes it tougher to buy. You look at the Russell, as bad as that's been, okay, entries and exits matter. Here's when you really had that potent break of the 8 and 21 day that should have gotten you out of a lot of these names, putting on also the support there. And then right around here, if you were pressing lows, which I understand why you would have been, because things did look really bleak from there, and plus everyone on TV was calling for a 10% correction in the S&P, a 25% correction in here, and then lo and behold, this reversed, held higher, and now poking our head against this little descending channel here. So we'll see what happens at this level. Banks really can't say too much, except for not a headwind right here. What's XLE doing? Hanging around, hasn't made new highs, but also not leading, but not lagging, still near highs. But where we make our money is, we're in the moving business. We're not in the parking business. We like to be in stocks that move, that could give you a nice 1 to 3 day move or a 2 to 4 day move. You can net 4 to 8% in those pockets. We don't sit around in things all year and wait for 4 to 8% for the year. We like to find those stocks that have a day one, give you some volume, they get up and go, sometimes a tight pattern, and that's what you go with. To start the week, that was Netflix. Netflix gave us that nice trade. If you look at the morning note, we talked about it on this day, and not only did it triggered with force. Got well above my target, which is right here, and now you have a little bit of a doji. I think some guys made a little bit of money short today, and could have almost made just as much money buying the dip versus shorting the strength. And now we'll see what kind of flag type pattern we get up there. As far as Apple's concerned, I'm a little lethargic up here, not as powerful as we had on this day. Remember that day? That was a nice bull flag and gave you a little bit of an extra trade before reversing. Or on this day where you had the reversal and you got some follow through. Now it's just like hanging in there. And today, I sold early in the morning, and then we had a decent trade in the afternoon, and I think it's fine, and I think it goes higher. Just there's no real setup right now, so I'm not trailing it. I don't have it overnight for the first time in a while. I was in this thing, I think, from this day to this little topping tail, got back in, and since then I've been just trading it. Went home long that Friday. Got a nice day. It just, you guys know that this has been a good net long trade since earnings, and hopefully that continues. It's just that we like it when it's a little bit tighter. I was hoping to get a better trade through 607.30, but it just really didn't happen. It was kind of lethargic, but I think it's okay. Google, really nice trade for the community this week, was a big time focus. Talked about this descending channel here, okay, broke above, retested, and this move was a lot cleaner. We talked about 560. Look at that. What a coinky dink. There you go. Where'd it go? 557, closed a little off the highs, and it's a little extended now. So the calculated trade, we like calculated trades. Here, calculated pattern, breaking above 2-day trade. Retest. This is when I got involved long. Here, I think I was done on this day, unfortunately. So now it's into resistance. It doesn't mean it's just a blaring short, but it means that there's nothing you can really gauge it on that's so well. So if you're still trailing it, good, have a smaller amount. Amazon, still the worst of the group. Gave you one calculated trade this week, or really good one, and that was here at 299, and now it's like nothing. As far as social media, it's been kind of hit or miss. Depending on how you played it today, you could have made decent money in Facebook, or you could have given it all back, and it wasn't easy to tell. Yesterday came in thinking a little short Facebook, and then it reversed, and in the afternoon we caught a nice afternoon trade, and then today gave you a little bit of follow through before that little pullback at the end of the day. All in all, still not an awesome vehicle right now. It's been better at times. You have support holding. It did break above this yesterday, and today put a small little tail in. I'm still long a little bit. I'm a very fair-weathered friend with this one. Okay, I would have thought it could have acted a little bit better, but what do you have? Options expirations, who exactly knows? This was your head and shoulders top right here. Now it's just lethargic. Take your trades and don't really overly too focus on this, and I'm going to try and focus on it less. The real good trades, though, yesterday when Facebook went out pretty strong, I was like, you know what, we got to look at LinkedIn and Yelp. I know they've been beat up and battered and bruised. It's not like our community holds those type of names when they're below the 8 and 21 day. So we had the opportunity to be involved. I think it was in Yelp overnight, and they were tight patterns. And these lower level beaten up stocks that had tight patterns started to loosen up. And Netflix started that trend on Monday. So if you look at Yelp, some people want to call it lucky, call it what you want. It's not luck. It was calculated in my opinion. This was your bottom tail. I was long that day too. That wasn't luck. That was a washout bottom tail day. Didn't give you much traction. Here, it started going again, little bull flag. So thinking about if Facebook was going to be strong, these get a little bit of a lift. And then you had an analyst upgraded, and now it seems like it wants to get to the 200-day. LinkedIn was actually negative today. Didn't have an analyst upgraded, and you could have made a nice move here. Same bottom tail here, marked a little bit of a bottom. So, we don't know how long that's going to stick, but we've been trying to do it in the past. And if you got rid of it when it broke the 8 and 21 day, or when it broke the 200 day down here, it's a tactical, spot for you to try, and it still looks pretty good. So, whatever. If you're in the Twitter sphere, you know why I'm talking about that. As far as the banks, I'm in Bank of America from yesterday, and still nothing there worth speaking about. I'm not even really looking at it. I did add. I have more overnight tonight than I had yesterday. It seems like it's trying to perk up a little bit, and maybe it's just something to have on, considering, if you sold it here when it had that false breakout, or when it broke the 8 and the 21 day there, maybe you tried, and who knows. We'll see if it gives you some type of trade. I know some of the people on the desk have been talking about how sideways the 3D printing stocks have been going, and they woke up in a big way today. I don't think you could have a lot of them because they are broken, they're battered and bruised. I have not been in this name in a long time, okay? It was a great stock for us for a while, and then all of a sudden broke the 8 and the 21 day, and then did it again, and this is the first time it's been kind of tight, and you had a nice little breakout move. Okay, here is your breakout move. You do have some volume attached to it. I missed the majority of it, but I did try and get into it in the end of the day, and I'm thinking maybe it gets up a little bit more. Okay, I know it's a broken stock and a broken trend and blah, 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 but it does see, yeah, look at that it's trying to do something different. So we'll see what happens there tomorrow. You know, you look at some of the other names in the group, they also just had little day ones. Nothing so awesome. You know, I remember we were all over this, and this was on every VTF when it broke out and went, and then all of a sudden it failed, and this is the first time I've nibbled a little bit on it, and look where it is. Okay, so we'll see if, you know, this is like almost a trash for treasures trade. If you bought it here and didn't sell it, it's probably in your trash bin. Or if you didn't sell when it broke here, it's probably in your trash bin. If you bought it today, you know, maybe you're up on it, and who knows, maybe we get a little bit more. You've seen this a few times before. You know, you did get some volume attached, so perhaps it goes a little bit higher. SSYS is actually the better name, and that had a really big bar on volume, so perhaps that continues. You know, it's poking its head against this, so it's going to be hard for it to get through, but if it actually got it through a little bit, this is just, now these are back in play a little bit. That's what happens when things loosen up. You get a little bit more stocks to just maneuver. But just be careful, when the music's over, it's over fast. And this was like one of the last groups of the beam down names to start going. So I don't want to get too much into what's going on in the tape, except for, you know, it's been a very frustrating time where if you've had extreme opinions, you've probably lost more than you had to. If you were flexible and you used the prior day's low as a pivot or high as a pivot and got away from it, if it changed from day to day or, you know, or sector to sector, you probably, you know, did a little bit better. And this week, if you said, look at this, you know, things are changing a little bit and you stayed with trades longer, you probably had a better week this week than the prior week. Hopefully you're not in too big of a hole and didn't hold things longer than you had to. Within that, you know, March, April time period when things bounced for a half a day and you had to be short every single uptick. It's been a little different now, so we'll see what happens. If you sold in May and went away, you're probably not doing so well, you know, because obviously the market wants to make as many people feel as stupid as possible. At this point, does it feel like there is a bid in the market, and is it because of the markup in May? Who knows? We'll soon find out. But if you took trades along the way, it doesn't matter, because they'll have to go to your bank account and take your money away because you already banked it. I know, you know, people are talking about how low the volume is, but if you shorted last week and you covered today because you couldn't handle it anymore, you could still lose money shorting low volume. So I know it's not the perfect environment, but this is the way it's been, and this is what we have to maneuver, and this is the way it could be moving forward. So granted, we'd love to see volume. I'd rather see him on breakouts. I'd rather see him with day ones. You know, if you can't see it in the overall market, then if it's not your trade, just sit on your hands and wait for your trade. Don't force it, because things will and can come to you if you're looking to see it. As far as you know, everyone in the VTF, you know, it's been a good week, lots of good communication. Definitely did a lot of good work with Sperling being away. A lot of individuals started to, you know, talk and contribute and try and help everyone else around, and that's what the VTF is for, to have 1,000 eyeballs versus 2 in, you know, wherever it is you're trading. And even if you're at a different firm, I think a lot of people do use it. But anyway, it is Thursday. I will be trading from Short Hills tomorrow. I will be on the radio for the first part of the day, talking about what I'm doing and trying to figure out how we can make some money going into the long weekend. I do think that, you know, no reason to be a hero here. You know, some of these bean down stocks and some of the beta names just had big moves, so they're not as calculated, so no need to be overly exposed. If you can make some money tomorrow and go into, you know, the holiday weekend with a nice head, enjoy yourself, barbecue, be with your friends, go for a hike, go for a swim, bike, run, whatever it is you do to make yourself happy. And then we'll tackle June when it presents itself. But for right now, we have a lot of good time ahead of us, as 3-day weekends don't happen often, and I think it's going to be nice on Sunday and Monday. Have a good one. I will see you on the radio tomorrow on the VTF.